Hey guys! So I posted a video on Snapchat and I told you guys to screenshot it if you wanted to see a video on how to get abs. And 43 of you screenshotted it, so I thought we would film this. So I wrote it all down in my phone so I don't start rambling. So, the number one thing to get abs, because I don't think you guys understand how often people ask me this question, it's like a constant thing, is just training hard and eating clean. Your nutrition has so much to do with it, because the number one reason why most people can't see their abs is because there's fat on top of it. And that's because of your nutrition, and eating clean is going to help with that. So first, I'm going to talk about the things that you can't do to get abs. So number one, you can't control where your fat goes. So some people are going to gain up most of their fat in their midsection, some people are going to gain in legs, some people are going to gain in their arms, their back, wherever it may be. You can't control that. That is just genetics. That's just where your fat wants to go, and it's going to go there because that's just where it ends up. So you can't decide where your fat goes, and you can't spot reduce the fat that goes in that certain area. So for myself, I just don't gain much fat on my midsection. That is just the leanest part of my body. So you can constantly see the outline of my abs. It may not be extremely defined. Like right now, I think I'm at like 17.8, 17.9% body fat, so my abs aren't as defined as they are when I first started, when I was at like 16% body fat, but it's just because I just don't gain much fat there. I gain it like in my back, in like weird random places. So just keep that in mind. You can't control where your fat goes, and you cannot spot reduce it. So if you ever see some stupid article on Cosmopolitan telling you like, oh, like lose belly fat. No. No. You have to lose fat everywhere. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna lose fat on your stomach. And if you think about it, how would you have control over where you're gonna lose your fat? Your body decides where it's gonna put it. Why would you now have control on how to get rid of it? You know what I mean? And then number two, you can't just get abs from training abs. And there is this huge misconception that if you train your abs, that you are burning the fat on your abs. But that's not true. Just like if you're training legs, you're not burning the fat on your legs. You're just building up your muscle. So you going to the gym, training abs every single day when you have a layer of fat on them is ultimately doing nothing for you for the next few months. Until you cut your body fat down and you lose weight, you will not see your abs. So you can train them every day if you want to, which you shouldn't, but you're just not going to see them until you drop your body fat. So not saying don't train abs, because you should if you want to. If that's your goals, I would train abs like 1 to 3 times a week. But personally, going into the next thing, I don't train abs at all at the moment, because I do compound lifts. And with compound lifts like deadlifts, squats, jump roping, pull-ups, you have to brace your core. So what that means is you have to tighten your core as you do all of these heavy lifts, because that is going to stabilize your entire body. So when I'm doing squats, I breathe out and then I breathe in and hold it. And when I get to the bottom of the squat, I am squeezing my core so tight because I'm holding weight on my back, and then you squeeze up with your glutes and your legs and everything. But you are bracing your core so much, and this is working your core a lot more than doing like 100 crunches would. So just keep in mind, like, you can do other things. You don't have to directly hit the muscle. You can do compound things and have it hit it at the same time, because I do so many compound heavy lifts all the time that I'm constantly hitting my abs. So for me personally, especially since I don't have a lot of fat on my stomach, I don't worry about just having an abs day. And then the last thing is you can't change how your abs look, so like shape-wise, and you can't change when you're going to see your abs. So some people may need to drop down to like 17% body fat. Some people may need to drop down to 16. Some people may only have to be at like 18, like myself, to sort of see your abs. it all just depends on your genetics. That is stuff that you just cannot change. So when you're training your abs, don't look at other people because their body could be completely different than yours. And honestly, I don't know why abs is such a thing. I don't know if I'm just saying that because I've kind of always had them because I've always been pretty lean, but how often are you really showing your stomach? The only time that I show my stomach is if I'm taking a photo on Instagram or I'm going to the beach. I have not been to the beach in like a whole entire year. So like the amount of time that I have my stomach out, besides wearing like maybe a crop top and I don't even show my midsection that much, is just so rare. I just don't really understand why everyone is so obsessed with abs. Like, yeah, I guess they look good, but I don't know, like, it doesn't define you. Like, abs do not define you, and I don't know why people are so obsessed with them, but I'm just trying to help, you know, just keep that in your mind. Just remember why you want abs. Don't do it because someone else has abs and you're like, oh my god, those look so good on them, because guess what, your abs might not look like that on you. You could have completely different shaped abs. Like, you just don't have control over that. With that being said, the things that you can do, because there are things that you can do to get abs, is number one, compound movements. So like I said, like pull-ups, even jumping rope, because you're basically bracing your core the whole entire time. That's like quads and abs mainly focused. Squats, deadlifts, there's lots of lifts. If you go on bodybuilding.com, you check off abs, I'm sure you could find tons of stuff. And then obviously training your abs, because you do have to train your abs to have your abs look good. You can't just not train them and then drop your body fat. There's not going to be anything there because you don't have any muscle. So abs not only have tissue, but they are also a muscle. So you train it just like any other muscle. So you have to give it time, you have to rest in between. I think it's so funny when people do like ab challenges, because I'm like, you have got to be killing yourself right now because your muscle just doesn't have time to recover. And another thing is, it's totally normal not to feel super sore after you do ab workouts. And I feel like people think like if they're sore, it was a successful day at the gym, and if they're not sore, then they failed. And that's just not true at all. Like, I'm not always extremely sore after I do squats, but I could have squatted 150 pounds. That doesn't mean that me squatting that was like absolute just shit because I didn't feel sore the next day. So don't base your progress off of the soreness, base it off of what you see in the mirror. I definitely recommend taking progress photos because that has always helped me in the past, and I can also post some wicked transformation photos on Instagram. So that's really all I'm going to say about abs. So just remember, number one, you cannot spot reduce your fat. You can't do it. There's no way. I don't care what anyone on the internet says. Can't believe everything you read. You can't do it. It's just not a thing. Number two, you must cut the fat on your stomach to see your abs. But like I said, you can't spot reduce. So you must lose weight everywhere, which is totally fine because you can always build muscle and you can build it back. But if you want abs that badly, you do have to lose weight because you have to lose the fat that is sitting on top of them. Number three, you can't change your genetics, so the shape of your abs, when your abs show, yada yada yada. And then number four, you do have to train them. So don't train them every single day, but you do have to train them at some point. You can't just cut the fat and then be like, hey, LMAO, they're here, because they won't be there. So that's really all that I have to talk about abs for. It's just another muscle group. If you guys want to see any other videos on body parts, kind of informational like this, or if you want to see them combined with exercises, let me know by giving this a thumbs up and letting me know which you'd rather see, or if you're fine with both, in the comments down below so that I know. If you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you all in my next video. I love you. Bye!